and ready, here we all. Yeah. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah, we all. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here.
The Minister of Finance will work with Central Bank to make sure that our exchange rate is competitive, eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate within a crawling band. Eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate within a crawling band.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they destroyed your energy sector. They failed to renew critical gas contracts and lied about production levels. They made bad deals and sold out TNT. The last time the UNC won, you lost billions of US dollars. If the UNC wins, you lose billions. We know how this movie ends. Make the last time on April 28th. Reject the UNC.
Again.
Hey! Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah! Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah, we all. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, we all. Yeah, we ready now. Calling the Red Army. Calling out all of we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. B&M, we working together, we building together. Young will make it better. B&M, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Mali's it in your hand. B&M is the plan, ready, hold it steady. B&M's B-O-N, one blood flowing through we vein. B-O-N, Red Army on the road again. B-O-N, every creed and every race. B-O-N, together no time to waste. B-O-N, from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. B-O-N, the policy is what we need. B-O-N, tell them this and say it then. B-O-N, the B&M we need again. B-O-N, taking it to the streets wherever we meet. We talking to everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want you to volunteer, spreading the word. Country before party. B&M, sun or rain, together we remain together. We're gonna make things better. B&M, young and old, together standing tall. Together, this is a new chapter. Together we standing, all tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Ready, hold it steady. B&M's B-O-N, one blood flowing through we vein. B-O-N, Red Army on the road again. B-O-N, every creed and every race. B-O-N, together no time to waste. B-O-N, from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. B-O-N, the policy is what we need. B-O-N, tell them this and say it then. B-O-N, the B&M we need again. B-O-N, red and ready, here we all. Yeah, red and ready, here we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, we all. Yeah, we ready now. B&M, we working together, we building together. We gonna make things better. B&M, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Mali's it in your hand. B&M is the plan.
you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the Cabal were in charge, they squandered $24 billion in cash and ran up a $9 billion overdraft at the Treasury. All this while energy revenues went from $17 billion to $1 billion. The last time they won, you lost the Treasury. We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again.
Ready, ready, show me who ready, ready, show me who ready, ready. This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming again. 'Cause I feel the light shining so bright in me heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, 'cause it's blood in we veins. We all are the same. You don't know we ready already. Things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we ready already. The things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the red army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Fire in the soul, a nation so strong. Through the heart of a people, the victory is won. We fight for tomorrow, we fight for today. Stand strong together, blow the evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, it's love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? You don't know, so tell them you're ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we ready and ready. Thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. No.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM.
on. Red and ready, here we on. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. Yeah, we on. PNM, we working together, we building together. Young will make it better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. Together we standing, no tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine.
See our waterfront under development. You see the hospital car park under development. You see Skinner Park being reformed and refashioned. You see business and enterprise all around you.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Randall Mitchell, your Minister of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, and your prospective candidate for the beautiful constituency of Labre. And with me is our councillor for Coquille Taruba, Teresa Lynch. We're here on the historic Harris Promenade in San Fernando. And in San Fernando is where the PNM know how to bring tempo. Teresa, what do you think the situation is outside?
Oh my gosh. So good evening everyone, and thank you for that lovely introduction. San Fernando have all of the tempo. So just now we have music trucks. We have a 40-foot truck that just came down the road. We have Minister Alwari here. We have Minister Manning. We have many supporters, hundreds and thousands of supporters here on the promenade. It is just electric.
Electric is the correct description. We don't just have San Fernando West and San Fernando East, but we also have Pointe-a-Pierre, Oropouche East, we have Moruga, Tableland, all coming together in one PNM family for our second in our installments for the all-in tour right here in the beautiful city of San Fernando. And this is the People's National Movement. A strong party, a party that has a strong foundation that has built Trinidad and Tobago from 1956. That's almost 70 years, Teresa.
Well, you know, I wasn't around then, I mean, you know. But yes, I can attest to the foundation and the development in the city of San Fernando. As a local government representative, I can attest to the works of Minister Alwari in his constituency in San Fernando West and Minister Manning in the constituency of San Fernando East. So just now I just saw the video. You saw the video that was playing?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You can feel PNM development right here in San Fernando. Tell us a little bit about the development that you see going on in the city of San Fernando.
So one of the things that I really and truly look forward for is the completion of the waterfront, the Lady Hills Avenue waterfront. Oh my gosh. I remember when Minister Alwari first spoke about that, I can envision it. You know, when you look at San Fernandians and you think about recreational spaces and you think about development and then you see the reclamation of the land and you think about the parkade. The parkade that's right there, and you look in San Fernando and all I can think of is I can't wait for it to finish so I can go down there on a Sunday afternoon and just take a little chill.
But being someone who has played a lot of sport, Skinner Park and the redevelopment of Skinner Park really struck a chord with me. Also, the Brian Lara Stadium, where we have first-class cricket going on, bringing that energy to San Fernando.
Where is the stadium?
The stadium
is in Taruba?
Is in Taruba.
Taruba. Okay.
In Taruba.
Yes. So I must say I am happy to be here. We are excited. We are electric. The tempo is on. The tassa is beating. The people are jumping.
It's truly fiery, and it was supposed to be a cool night, but it is fiery and electric out there. So I think now we have to take them to stage side.
Yes. So yes.
All right, so we go to some videos where you can see some development, PNM style, of our beautiful Twin Isle state of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you.
I'm a little confused, sorry, sir. And we do have plans and programs. I can't give you details right now, but we do have plans. Look, we do have
just want to know what is the projected lead time for something like this to happen?
Wonderful question. But you really think we have the time to give you all those details?
Yeah.
U.S. money is very easy to get in Barbados.
No, wait,
The
let's get one at a time.
The system.
Programs, I can't remember every single one of them just off the top of my head. We had the mosque, we had. You want to remind me, Dave, of some of those programs under Mr. Karim's ministry? But there were several, and we'll talk it on another day. We started getting doctors to go to homes to visit the elderly, blah, 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 blah. We have the plans, blah, 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 blah.
Red and ready, here we on. Red and ready, here we on. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. Yeah, we on. PNM, we working together. We building together. Young will make it better. PNM, side by side together. We standing together for our nation's future. Together we standing, no tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. We all there, we all there. Red and ready, here we are. Calling on the Red Army. Red and ready, here we are. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we are. There. Red and ready, hold it steady. PNM, be all in.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
I'm a little confused, sorry, sir. And we do have plans and programs. I can't give you details right now, but we do have plans. Look, we do have.
I just want to know what is the projected lead time for something like this to happen?
Wonderful question. But you really think we have the time to give you all those details?
Yeah.
U.S. money is very easy to get in Barbados.
No, wait,
The
let's get one at a time.
The system.
Programs, I can't remember every single one of them just off the top of my head. We had the mosque, we had. You want to remind me, Dave, of some of those programs under Mr. Karim's ministry? But there were several, and we'll talk it on another day. We started getting doctors to go to homes to visit the elderly, blah, 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 blah. We have the plans, blah, 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 blah.
Ready, show me who ready, show me who ready. This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming. Cause I feel the light shining so bright in the heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, cause it's blood in we veins. We all are the same. You don't know we red already. Think and set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. Think and set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the Red Army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Fire in the soul.
So we're back, and I want to thank you again for welcoming us into your homes, on your television stations, and all your social media platforms. So we're about to start, and we have a powerful lineup of speakers this evening, and a some powerful messages about your development and your future development. Teresa, tell them what they're about to hear.
So tonight, as you all know, we are in the city of San Fernando. So we will have Natasha Mohammed. She is the prospective candidate for Superior.
Yes.
Yes. And we also have the incumbent, the prospective candidate for San Fernando East, the Honorable Mr. Brian Manning. And of course, we are in the constituency of San Fernando West. So we have the prospective candidate, Mr. Faris Alwari.
All right, and Dr. Natasha Mohammed, she is a new candidate for us, yes, our standard bearer in Superior. She's a brilliant young lady. She has a doctorate in business administration. And of course, we have Mr. Brian Manning, who has been a minister in the Ministry of Finance, yes, tasked with managing our economy. And Faris Alwari, Senior Counsel, who is a past Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, and now
my boss,
your boss, the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, coming to tell you everything about the development within the local government sector and of course in our rural communities all across Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
So are you excited, Teresa?
I'm excited, but we left out one more speaker.
One more speaker.
The most important speaker.
And I feel this is a new chapter, yes, and a new beginning with this speaker. Introduce this speaker.
This speaker, the final speaker, the featured speaker, our Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young,
Senior Counsel.
Yes.
San Fernando! If you feeling proud to be a member of the People's National Movement, say yeah, yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Anisha Beach and I will be your proud master of ceremonies for this evening. And let it be known, I am a proud member of the constituency of San Fernando East. We have a dynamic lineup of speakers for you this evening, and we are ready to show the world, Trinidad and Tobago, that the People's National Movement is the greatest party in Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome everyone to San Fernando, to the spectacular city of San Fernando. This is the second city of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to those here, welcome to those who are joining us on television and those who are joining us online. Are we ready for a good time this evening? As you would have taken the scenic route to get here, you would have noticed that San Fernando, under the People's National Movement, has seen unmatched development, and we are ready to see that so much more once we are voted into victory come April 20th. And ladies and gentlemen, I know we would have had you here for some time, so we are not going to waste any time at all. Your first speaker this evening represents the youth of the People's National Movement. Your youth speaker is a dynamic leader whose career spans business, healthcare, finance, and education. With a doctorate in international business, a master's in international relations, and a bachelor's in general nursing, she has built a reputation as a strategic thinker, compassionate leader, and advocate for progressive change. San Fernando, this young lady is set to remove the current Member of Parliament for Superior with sound, sober PNM leadership. I present to you the next MP for Superior, your candidate and our youth speaker for this evening, Miss Natasha Mohammed.
Give praise, children, yeah. Give praise. Give praise, children, yeah. Give praise, children. Oh, Father, who has given us His eyes that we can all see like we're a part of His earthly heaven. Forgive us this day our daily.
Good night, San Fernando. Good night, San Fernando. It is a joy to stand before you as the proud PNM candidate for a great constituency of Superior. Let me first salute you, our current and next Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, the Honorable Faris Alwari, the next MP for San Fernando West, the Honorable Brian Manning, the next MP for San Fernando East, and of course you, and of course you, and of course you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All protocols follow. I stand before you today, just not as a candidate, but as a daughter of Superior, born, raised, educated, and invested in this community. I have built my life and business here, and now I offer myself to serve you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We're just days away from nomination day, and while I stand proudly as the only declared candidate for Superior, the UNC is still scrambling. They haven't even named their challenger as yet, a reflection of their confusion and lack of direction. That's their business. My business is the people of Superior and Trinidad and Tobago. And the message I am hearing on the ground is clear. The people of Superior feel abandoned. Despite the UNC holding full control of the Penal-Debe Regional Corporation, service delivery is poor. People are still struggling with bad roads, poor drainage, and broken infrastructure. But what hurts people the most? They don't see their MP. Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bissessa has become an absentee representative. She's not walking on the grounds. She's not showing up, even during elections. The people of Superior is ready for change. The people of Superior is ready for change. And that change will come on April 28th, when you elect a representative who is present, committed, and ready to serve. A representative who can walk the ground and meet you where you live. That representative is me, Dr. Natasha Mohammed of the People National Movement. From my home in Rochard Road, I have seen the strength and the performance of the PNM. I am a product of the PNM policy, from free primary school to secondary school education to university to a PhD. That's the power of sound leadership and vision. The PNM has guided Trinidad and Tobago through decades of development, from building the gas economy and Point Lisas to navigating global changes and investing in our people. Look at what we're doing for the youths and business. Under Minister Foster Cumming, over 25 programs are creating opportunities across our country. The Youth Agriculture Homestead Program gives land, tools, seed fundings to help young people start a farming business. The Hoist and Drop prepare youths for careers in the energy sector as well. Young people can now access up to $20,000 to start a business in trades like electrical, plumbing, AC, and much more. For the first time in a long time, our youth feel like they matter. And that's because the PNM is a government that invests in its people. So, on April 28th, you have a clear choice. responsible for managing good affairs of the people in difficult times and good times. We balance in the interest of our collective good over the gimmicks and reckless and dangerous plans of the UNC. The People National Movement is the only party that stands for all across Trinidad and Tobago. A party of unity, a party of opportunity, a party of progress. In Superior, the only choice is Dr. Natasha Mohammed, and for Prime Minister, the only choice is the Honorable Stuart Young. So on April 28th, raise your voice with me and say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM. We shall prevail. Thank you, San Fernando Promenade.
Give praise, children, yeah. Give praise. Give praise, children, yeah. Give praise. Give praise, children.
RS Promenade, put your hands together one more time for Dr. Natasha Mohammed. Guys, I heard that our UNC MP, it didn't even present herself as a candidate because she's afraid of Dr. Mohammed. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? I believe that, and the youth are definitely making a difference in the People's National Movement. Can you make some noise for that? So before we continue with our speakers, let me see the flags. Let me see the flags right now. Let me see all of the flags in the air. This is a beautiful, beautiful sight. However, we just want to remind you all, just to make sure that the people at home see what's going on as well. When the speeches, when everyone is speaking up here, you all will lower your flag. In between, you can raise your flags, have fun with your flags. Let me see the flags again, let me see them. Excellent. But after, as soon as our speakers come up, what are we gonna do? We will lower our flags. Let's make some noise, San Fernando. Our youth is alive and well, and do you know that under the People's National Movement, just a few days ago, we would have made history in Trinidad and Tobago, when we would have appointed the youngest Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stuart Young, and we have entered into a new chapter, not just in our party's unbeatable history, but a new chapter in the Trinidad and Tobago story. And tonight in San Fernando, you are telling this story by the thousands. Say yeah, yeah. So you all want to see another speaker? San Fernando, are you ready for another speaker? Your next speaker is an international financial professional who has worked across the region and served on projects around the world. He is a qualified financial data scientist. He has served as an investment banker for global financial institutions. He has served as an international equity analyst and a financial business analyst within the global multilateral system. He is currently a servant of the people working as minister in the Ministry of Finance, and he has served the people of San Fernando East for the last 5 years. It is my pleasure to present to you my next MP for San Fernando East, the Honorable Brian Manning.
Manning going back, Manning going back, Manning going back to represent any parliament. Manning going back, Manning going back. You better bat in the crease. We moving with Manning in San East. Manning going back, Manning going back, Manning going back to represent any parliament. Manning going back, Manning going back. You better bat in the crease. We moving with Manning in San East.
Good evening, San Fernando, and welcome. San Fernando East may be the best constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. I know you would agree. I know you would agree. We have been extremely fortunate to benefit from successive PNM governments. In San Fernando East, we have more community centers than any other constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. Count them out for me. We have Pleasantville, Monrepo, Coquier, Vista Bella, Taradale, Pitty Moon, St. John's, St. Madeleine, and right now we are building a 9th community center at the Corinth community, a state-of-the-art facility. And now that we have brought home the area of Union Hall back into the San Fernando East fold, I will lobby my hardest to ensure that they too receive a community center. Folks, San Fernando East has been extremely blessed. In the past 4.5 years, we have received more new housing than any other constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. We have new housing developments in Riverside East, Riverside North, Riverside South. We also have new housing at the Cypress Apartments. Also, a new public-private venture at the Monrepo Roundabout. And of course, we have the Carlton Lane housing development. Folks, that is PNM performance in San Fernando East. In the last 4.5 years, coming out of the COVID crisis, we decided to focus on some of the more vulnerable communities within San Fernando East. And that's where we focus our efforts with the HVIP program, the Home Village Improvement Program. This is a program where your PNM government will give some of the most vulnerable people in this country a free home to live in. A free starter home, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me where else in the world you could get something like that. If you are a vulnerable citizen, you have a deed or a letter of comfort. This PNM government will give you a home with electricals, with plumbing, to ensure that you have safety and security and a roof over your head during the most challenging of weather conditions. That is a caring government, ladies and gentlemen. In San Fernando East, you have an MP who is always available and accessible. From day one, I said it was going to be all about representation. I have been in the office every Thursday afternoon, and I've been on the ground every Saturday morning, walking throughout various communities within San Fernando East, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I wanted to get to know the people of this constituency, and I also wanted to get to see the various issues so that I could solve them. You have a hard-working MP, and I am committed to the people of San Fernando East. Let me make a few announcements tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you earlier about the community centers in San Fernando East, but I'm happy to announce that the people of Coquier will be receiving a brand new community center in the next few weeks. It has already been approved, and now it is moving through the procurement process. And Coquier, in the next few weeks, work will begin, will receive a brand new community center. Also, I know this one is one that the people of San Fernando East want to hear. Work has begun on the Coquier swimming pool. And I have been reliably informed that within the next 2 weeks, the Coquier swimming pool will be open and available to the residents of San Fernando, ladies and gentlemen. That is what performance looks like. That is how we do it in San Fernando East. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, in the last few years, coming out of COVID, at the Ministry of Finance, this economy has been extremely challenged. In the last decade, it may have been the most challenging economy in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. But during these troubled waters, this government has been able to steer this ship on a steady course. During COVID, when our revenues fell to absolutely zero, this government was able to ensure that public servants and other government employees remained employed. Ladies and gentlemen, no other country in this region can say the same. Trinidad and Tobago remains the only investment-grade country in all of the CARICOM. You know what investment grade means? It means we credit good. It means that we can borrow on the international markets. While all of our CARICOM brothers and sisters are now in the warm embrace of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, Trinidad and Tobago is not. Is not, and that is not by accident. That is because this government has performed. Even during the COVID crisis, ladies and gentlemen, not a single public servant was laid off. Not one. Every government worker received their payments in full and on time. And let me tell you, we had the public service, we had the police paid, army paid, Coast Guard paid, prisons officers paid, fire officers paid, old age pension paid, teachers paid, doctors paid, unemployment relief grants paid, ladies and gentlemen. That is what this government did, even during a time where our revenues fell to zero. We were able to feed the multitude with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, ladies and gentlemen. That is what this PNM government did. During that time, the Ministry of Finance financed relief funds for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, which totaled almost $6 billion, ladies and gentlemen. $6 billion during a time where our income fell to nothing. We had salary relief grants of $1,500 per month, which satisfied almost 95,000 citizens of this country. We had book grants, $1,000 each, to over 23,000 citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We had VAT refunds to small and medium enterprises of over $500 million to 6,767 small and medium enterprises in Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen. And we also, coming out of COVID, while other governments in the region were laying off employees, we increased the minimum wage from $7.50 an hour to $20.50, ladies and gentlemen, which put more money in the hands of some of the poorest people in this country. They like to call us a government of taxation, but we also reduce taxes on the poor. The relief tax level for some of the poorest people in this country moved up from $5,000 to $7,500 monthly. That means if you make a salary of $7,500 monthly or less, you pay zero in income taxes, ladies and gentlemen. Zero. That is how this government puts money back in your pocket. In Trinidad and Tobago, we enjoy many subsidies, ladies and gentlemen, and that is paid for by the government to ensure that you do not have to pay the full cost. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have some of the lowest water rates in the entire hemisphere. We have some of the lowest electricity rates in the entire hemisphere. We have some of the lowest fuel costs for your vehicles in the entire hemisphere, ladies and gentlemen. You look at HGC housing. Many of you would have benefited from the HGC program. Those homes, every single HGC unit is also subsidized, which means that you, the current owner or tenant, does not have to pay the full price because this PNM government will pay part of it for you. If you receive a mortgage from the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Bank, you would receive the lowest mortgage you could possibly receive in the entire region. As a first-time homeowner, you are eligible for a mortgage of 2%. I want you to think about that, 2%. That too is subsidized. Just ask your family and friends living abroad and elsewhere if any of them have access to a 2% mortgage. I guarantee you the answer is no. This is performance that the UNC could never match. During the COVID crisis, While we were offering real solutions, they were offering punching and sunlight. That's what they were doing. That is something this country should never have to bear ever again. Ladies and gentlemen, currently, I have an opponent, a UNC opponent in San Fernando East, who seems to be determined to partner with some of the criminal elements within the constituency. But that comes as no surprise. We know who he is, and we know what he is about. We know. The gentleman cannot even get people from San Fernando East to walk with him. He has to import people from other constituencies to walk in San Fernando East. No matter. The less said about the gentleman, the better. But what really upset me is when the gentleman tried to exploit some of the poorest people in this constituency for likes on social media. In the past 4.5 years, this MP and his office staff have assisted thousands of residents of this constituency, and most of it never ended up on social media. I see this gentleman going to a fire victim in the constituency and saying, hey lady, I'm here to help you, but first, let's make a TikTok. He goes to a lady who has had her feet removed due to complications to diabetes and said, yeah, miss, I'm here to help, but let's do it for the gram. That's the kind of representation we are getting from the UNC. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not service, that is narcissism, and that is something we would never tolerate in San Fernando East. I was going to leave them alone, you know, but then he brought out the campaign manager, the so-called protocol officer. Where do I begin? At one point, the lady was so convincing, she even had me fooled. But I was sternly warned by the executive of San Fernando East and my family that no such position exists within San Fernando East. There is no such thing as a protocol officer. The person has never been a member of the executive of San Fernando East. But then she decided, after Hazel Anne-Marie Kinsale Manning decided to set the record straight, she had the temerity, the audacity, the bold-facedity to call my mother a liar. Well, let me tell you something. My mother has never had to lie. And you know what else she's never done? She's never been charged with fraud. Can the protocol officer say the same? I say no more. Folks, in the next few weeks, we know what to expect from the UNC. It's the same playbook. They're going to come to you, and they're going to try to either bribe you or bully you into support. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come to you, and they're going to offer you a fridge. They're going to offer you a stove. They're going to offer you a couch set. They're going to offer you $500 in a jersey. My good friends, please take it. In fact, if you are able, get one for me too, please. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let these small trinkets force you to mortgage yours and your children's future, because that's what they want. That is what they want. This is the same UNC government, when they came into office, they got rid of all of the youth programs immediately. This PLM government has implemented more youth programs than any other government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. We even have skills training programs for our young people that will pay them a stipend while they learn a skill or a trade, ladies and gentlemen. That is what a progressive, caring government does. We have programs that will pay young people to earn a skill and to earn a trade. I encourage you to let our young people participate in these programs as quickly as possible, ladies and gentlemen. This government has also announced that we are soon to reopen the refinery in Pointe-à-Pitre. I know you've heard that. Opening that refinery will create thousands of new jobs in San Fernando and environs. Thousands of new jobs for all of you to participate and to live good, comfortable lives. The UNC has already stated that they are going to destroy it. They have said that. Our Prime Minister and others, the Honorable Stuart Young SC, have been working day and night to ensure that we have a dragon deal that is going to encourage billions, I say billions, of new foreign exchange revenues to this country and employ thousands of people in Trinidad and Tobago. I heard a fellow in the Senate say if they ever came into office, what they're going to do is cancel the dragon deal. That's what they said. And you know, I wouldn't take them seriously. I wouldn't believe them if I didn't see what they did to the smelter in 2010. That smelter would have created thousands of new jobs in this country, maybe hundreds of thousands, because that was the vision of Patrick Manning for the downstream industrialization of Trinidad and Tobago, where everyone would be accessible to a job that would be respectable and so that you could live a life of dignity. The downstream plan for Trinidad and Tobago was iron, steel, plastics, aluminum. With access to those commodities, we would be able to produce a manufacturing sector that would be world-class and competitive in producing any product. Ladies and gentlemen, do not play fast and loose with your future. The UNC is a party of vindictiveness and destruction. So don't take the fridge today and then have nothing to put in it April 29th. Don't take the stove today and your children unemployed April 29th. Don't take 500 in a jersey and they close down all the youth programs and have you and your children living like second-class citizens of this country. We will not accept that here in San Fernando or in Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is a new government, a new PNM government with a new Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young SC. I want to say this evening, ladies and gentlemen, that the Honorable new Prime Minister has my full support. He is hardworking, he is diligent, he is intelligent, and I believe he has the ability, working in partnership and tandem with myself and others, to implement the vision and dream of Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning. Ladies and gentlemen, what you have now is a government of inclusion. You have a cosmopolitan government. You have a government that represents you and represents me. We have a combination of experience and youth. We have a mix of races, creed, and gender. We have a government that is a national government coming from a national party. And the People's National Movement is the only national party in Trinidad and Tobago. Only one. Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand at the crossroads of possibility and progress. Let us not just dream of a better future. Let us act and build it brick by brick, hand in hand. The future is ours, and the time to act is now. Ladies and gentlemen, let us come together and vote for the only party in Trinidad and Tobago that cares about your future, and that is the People's National Movement. So after we have done our due, on April 28th, we will meet on that evening and shout from the mountaintops, "Great is the PNM! Great is the PNM! Great is the PNM!" And we shall prevail. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Manning in St. Louis.
nation is the greatest. They quaking, cause Brian coming. They're sweating on the sidelines. 2 Mannings in their lifetime.
San Fernando! Make some noise for your candidate for San Fernando East, Brian Manning! Ladies and gentlemen, is the rain going to stop us tonight? Is the rain going to stop us tonight? Will the rain stop us on April 28th? What are we doing on April 28th? We are voting for the PNM. And Mr. Manning said it best. This is performance that the UNC cannot match. Make some noise for our speaker, our candidate for San Fernando East, Brian Manning. And we are the only national party representing in every seat in every election. Make some noise to the People's National Movement. Because we are not a party of mass chaos, confusion, and mass resignations. We understand and believe in the importance of representation. Make some noise. And our next speaker believes in representation. He has been shaping the future of Trinidad and Tobago in the front line of the PNM for the last 15 years. He is a fearless reformer, master strategist, and unwavering advocate for progress. As Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, he is redefining grassroots governance, ensuring economic revitalization, digital transformation, and sustainable development for communities across the country. And the rain is easing up because they know he's coming. From the halls of Parliament to the streets of San Fernando West, Faris Al-Rawi has proven himself as a relentless fighter for progress, a champion of the people, and a leader with a vision and capability to take Trinidad and Tobago boldly into the future. Passionate, purposeful, proven. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, San Fernando, your next MP for San Fernando West, the Honorable Faris Al-Rawi.
Big up Faris, big up St. Madeleine, big up Phil, big up Larmin, you don't know, big up the whole of San Fernando.
And ladies and gentlemen,
And it's that.
I have something.
PNM, touchdown, no other party, no other than we.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we are celebrating, I would like to announce the arrival of our Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC. So the rain has gone. Are you ready for your candidate for San Fernando West?
Saying boys stop living in
San Fernando West, are you ready?
that energy, the raw
Put your hands together for the candidate for San Fernando West, the Honorable Faris Al-Rawi.
Let the time in our sunshine or summer. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it reads like a story, man. I come from when Kong used to carry it.
Make some noise as our Prime Minister makes his way through the crowd.
We used to carry it. We used to carry it when it gone. Used to carry it. We used to carry it when I Rima had it. Maturita had it. Santa Rosa had it. Donyaruka had it. In Mova had it. In Sawa had it. Soparia had it. Look all over. Downtown Fed was the vibes when West people live from Lincoln, John and the town to head to the playground. And who they link inside. Arima and Central Tobago and Southside. The traffic on insomnia morning down the by West Morning have cars parking like a garage.
Keep your flags up, keep the energy up. Our Prime Minister is making his way through the crowd.
We used to carry it when it gone. We used to carry it. We used to carry it on the flag. We did carry it. We used to carry it on the gulag. We did carry it. We used to carry it when Central had it. Korea had it. Columbia had it. Dipping Pinal had it. 500 had it. Enterprise had it. Hoover had it. Them full of our downtown Fed was a safe
and shake it like an earthquake. But everyone was fine, it was when hot girl wine. We used to say the downtown massive and the uptown massive with no fences to separate. And it was like a rite of passage when your clothes get damaged, just you start sweating by the gate. Then time did you go, we used to carry it. We used to carry it up and down, we did carry it. We used to carry it when the flag to the carry it. We used to carry it when the band to the carry it. We used to carry it, Mara.
So ladies and gentlemen, they say when it's nice, you do it thrice. And given that this man is going in for his third term, I'm going to introduce him for the third time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your MP San Fernando, the next MP for San Fernando West, the Honorable Faris Al-Rawi.
Big up Forest, big up St. Madeleine, big up Phil, big up Larmin, they don't know, big up the whole of San Fernando West. And it's that, boom, P&M, touchdown, no other party no better than we. We is the champions from a long time, eat up the other party. Yeah, P&M, touchdown, no other party no better than we. We is the champions from a long time, eat up the other party like ping pong. Yeah, P&M will check we party.
San Fernando! Let me hear you welcome my Prime Minister, Stuart Richard Young. Let me hear how you're feeling, people. How you feeling? Right, the vibes climbing. We in a place of history. I grew up right here, listening to political speeches from my grandfather's days come right down. You have people like Mrs. Hazel Manning right here. You have our leaders, elders, youth, vibe all at once, and the Lord gave us some little showers of blessing, and we're feeling good. So let us get down to business. Tonight I am going to put a tempo which is asking you to pay attention. We have a choice to make as a people on the 28th of April 2025. We have a choice which resides in one finger, one X, one mind, one family. The question is, what is the choice that we're asking the nation to make? We have thousands here tonight, but we're speaking to 1.3 million people here tonight in Trinidad, and we're speaking through the World Wide Web and everywhere all at once. So let's broaden the conversation. We are in this blessed country. We earn our money by oil and gas revenue. On average, we earn $45 billion a year. We spend $53 billion a year. So we're earning less than we're spending. Of the $21 billion we earn in oil and gas, that sum is what keeps us afloat. Our Minister of Energy, now our Prime Minister, along with Dr. Rowley, went to secure our future, saying, bring gas to Trinidad and Tobago, keep our plants alive, because if you stop producing gas, the plants will just pack up and leave Trinidad and Tobago. When we are considering that, we know that we have our biggest ally to the north, the United States. We have the CARICOM as our community, and we have our neighbors. And we have delicately respected the sovereignty of everyone, and we have formed negotiations and deals that tell us where our future is. Our future is essential in keeping money afloat. But while we are keeping money by selling gas and hoping that our Loran Manatee side comes to us because it's ours, and praying that Dragon Gas comes to us as well so that we keep our plants alive, what about saving money? Because all of us know every dollar you save is a dollar earned. In the 9 years that we account for ourselves, we cannot forget 3 years of COVID, shutdown of money. And in San Fernando, I will come to tell you specifically what we did with that. But tonight, in saving money, I want to put on table the choice. You have heard of a lady called Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I want to remind you who the leader of the opposition was and is. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar served in several governments. And one of the posts that she held, November 1995 to February 1996, she was the Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Many of you may not remember that. She also served as the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for 5 years and 3 months, from the 24th of May 2010 to September 2015. And in that time, I have come to tell you about money saved is money earned. I want to remind you of something called the Piarco Airport. In 1990 to 1995, there was a vision by the government to produce a first-class airport. It was called Project Pride. From 1995 to the year 2000, we had a UNC government, Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Attorney General for the period I've mentioned, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj as Attorney General for the vast amount of time, but in that time, the Piarco Airport was built. And in that time, a massive corruption was perpetrated on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that corruption found itself into the courts of Trinidad and Tobago and the courts of Miami and the state of Florida. Now, many of our young people might be asking, what is this about? You're talking about 1999 and 1998. How does that affect me? How does that affect me when I open my fridge and what I look inside of my fridge is not 1999? Many people may ask that, but it is relevant to our conversation tonight. And in those courtrooms in the United States of America and in Trinidad and Tobago, in 2004, after we had laid charges for corruption against a number of people serving in the UNC government, including its Minister of Finance and other people, we saw the filing of a lawsuit in Miami, started in 2004. That lawsuit in Miami involved one bunch of defendants. These defendants were massive number. There were 21 defendants. There were much more because we had to sue properties and bank accounts to get them back. But we had 21 defendants. And the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, under a PNM Attorney General, John Jeremy, followed by Bridget Anisette George, followed by Glenda Moraine, and then John Jeremy came back just before Annan Ramlogan came. That PNM government commenced litigation. At the same time, the United States government said, by way of criminal charges against Americans, against a man from Peru, against a man from Colombia, against a number of entities, the United States federal government in the federal court in Miami listen to the Attorney General of the United States in Florida bring criminal proceedings against Trinidadian people and Trinidadian companies and Americans and other foreigners. And what did the United States government do? Because Kamla Persad-Bissessar tells you this is not real, this is PNM persecuting UNC, and I'll tell you why I'm raising this topic in a little while. The United States government took these people to court. I will tell you who they are and what happened to them, because tonight I will reveal to you what you have not heard. And while the United States government was in criminal prosecutions, we took civil prosecutions. And those civil prosecutions were very important because we wanted to get back with money. $1 billion in money. You all know what $1 billion is back in 1999? $1 billion in 1999 is more like $12 billion today. And the United States government and in the United States Federal Court Criminal Division, United States Civil Division, all of those cases were going on. But in Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM called an election. We lost the election in 1995. We saw the UNC go to 2000, but in the year coming up to 2000, something very important happened. The UNC government, knowing that there was criminal conduct and knowing what I'm going to reveal to you tonight by actual words, saw Kamla Persad-Bissessar, leader of the UNC today, Attorney General there, Kamla Persad-Bissessar found herself in a very interesting situation. And I want you to hear about Kamla Persad's situation, not from my words, because I wear a PNM shirt. I want you to hear it from Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, member then of the United National Congress. I read from a Guardian article. It is entitled, Ramesh Hits Kamla on Using His Corruption Bill. It's written by Gail Alexander back then, and Miss Alexander was writing, UNC MP Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj says he's happy new leader UNC Kamla Persad-Bissessar has had a change of heart in fighting corruption at all levels and intends resurrecting an anti-corruption bill he drafted in 2001. But hear what Mr. Maharaj says. When Mrs. Persad-Bissessar came in as Attorney General, she reintroduced the bill, but as AG, she also fired Carl Hudson Phillips, who was special counsel to the Bob Lindquist corruption probe at the time, and she also fired Lindquist in total. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar also asked the police to do a criminal probe on me, that is him, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj speaking, for hiring Lindquist, and Senior Superintendent Wellington Virgil came to me and said he was mandated to see if I had misconducted myself in public office by hiring Lindquist, because he felt that my hiring of Lindquist to probe corruption amounted to a criminal offense. That is Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj telling about Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Attorney General when she was in the United National Congress. But it goes further. On the website of Bob Lindquist, in full living color for you to see, he has a tale on Piarco International Airport, Trinidad construction, bid rigging, money laundering. And listen to Mr. Lindquist's words, not mine. A flight into the procurement process. He says, In September 2000, the Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago retained linguists to conduct investigations into allegations of corruption and procurement, fraud regarding construction of the country's Piarco International Airport at a cost of some $110 million. Linguists called Marshdorf and Stamler to assist with the mandate. Our interim report was issued within 2 months prior to the country's general election held in December 2000. The AG's political party won the election, but the investigation did not continue. Thereafter, in 2001, the AG, he's referring to Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, and 2 other ministers resigned from cabinet over the inability to obtain funds for the anti-corruption unit to consider its investigation. I'm reminding you of Kamla Prasad Bisesa from the words of Bob Lindquist, the words of Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, in saying, as they have said, not me, that there was no money to stop the probe by starving the funds. Now let's get to the back of your fridge today. Let's get to why this is relevant to all the young people today. What happened in 2010 to 2015 was that Mrs. Prasad Bisesa appointed an Attorney General named who? Anand Ramlogan, a man on criminal charges in Trinidad and Tobago today for witness tampering. A man who have yet to answer criminal charges, still going to come on the Vincent Nelson matter for legal fees kickback. And that Attorney General had, by the leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the job of pursuing the Miami litigation and of dealing with the extradition of Steve Ferguson, Ishwal Galbaran Singh, and Northern Construction. What happened? The records of the Attorney General's office, where I served for 7 years, demonstrate that they gave no instructions to the Miami lawyers, waiting for the case to fall apart. Worse yet, when time came for the extradition matter to proceed, after arrest warrant happened, authorization to proceed happened, you go through habeas corpus, judicial review, High Court, Court of Appeal, Privy Council, come again, High Court, Court of Appeal, Privy Council. We get to a judgment of Mr. Justice Ronnie Budu Singh, and that judge in 2011, November 7, 2011, said, because of how the case was presented, Ramlogan, having fired Douglas Mendez and his team who were doing the case, bringing new lawyers, in that case, the judge said at High Court, I will quash the warrant, bring them to trial in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to read for you a letter from Anand Ramlogan to the Miami lawyers. And the Miami lawyers received a letter January 3rd, 2011 from Anand Ramlogan. He writes to the lawyer for Trinidad and Tobago and Miami, and he says, I advise that I have taken the decision not to appeal the decision of the Honorable Mr. Justice Budu Singh, delivered on the 7th November in the Steve Ferguson case, and he called the whole name. The result of this is that the defendants will not be extradited to the United States of America to face trial there. I'm coming back to your fridge. Remember your fridge in your head tonight, San Fernando. Remember when you open the fridge and you're asking, what the government do for me? We want to put food in your fridge. We're talking about saving money. We're talking about who you are going to think about on April 28th to put in office or not put in office, to vote, to stay home, or to not vote. And coming to that, you have Ramlogan's letter. Well, let me tell you, at that point in time, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa had received a closing statement from the lawyers in Miami, giving the government of Trinidad and Tobago millions of US dollars. One letter alone, July 12, 2010, the amount of $2,753,889.06 received and signed off for by Anna and Ram Logan on the 12th of July 2010. Did you ever hear about that? No. Did you hear about what had happened in the criminal cases? No. I'll come to that. But stepping now into the UNC, back then, I want to remind you who is asking to go back in office. And Prasad Bisesa passed a law called the Administration of Justice Preliminary Inquiries Act. We call it a JIPA. But she proclaimed one section in particular, 31st of August 2012, Section 34. And Section 34 says, if your case in the court longer than 10 years, get out of jail. Pass that 31st of August 2012, and they went to court and they exercised their rights and they say they're out of jail. So no extradition. Ram Logan said he's not appealing. That wasn't good enough, you know. Section 34 had to seal the deal. When the country woke up to Section 34 and 10,000 people went and marched through Port of Spain to the president's house, they were forced to go back into Parliament to repeal the law. But we have a constitution, we have due process. The people entitled to say, but hold on, you can't give me a law today and take it away tomorrow, because all you is stupid. Kamla, Prasad, Bisesa, SC, MP. All that missing is the letter A between them. Because what you were told is that a government sensible as it is, with SC, MP, could pass Section 34. It took years to go to court. And the country was reminded of that in 2015. The PNM came in, and we in this government took up the Miami case, went to court. I went and I testified myself. Having testified myself, we led the litigation. Having led the litigation, we organized and we got $133 million US in judgment. $1 billion in judgment for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But that $1 billion has $20 million US in interest and another $20 million in legal costs. And by the time you add all of that and you put it in Trinidad and Tobago dollars, you are looking at $1.3 billion. And in reminding you and coming to your fridge now, the question is what you're going to do with that $1.3 billion. Because when Section 34 passed, you did not hear that 7 people in a United States court entered a plea of guilt. Let me call them for you. Guilty plea in the federal court. Eduardo Hillman Waller, imprisoned 37 months. Probation 60 months, restitution order $2 million US. Leonardo Arturo Mora Rodriguez, guilty plea, conspiracy to commit offenses, sentence $20,000, imprisonment 6 months, supervised 36 months. Rene Diaz de Villegas, he make a jail too. Fine $50,000, imprisonment 12 months. Raul J. Gutierrez, he make a jail too, 72 months. Supervised release 60 months. $22 million in restitution US. Armando Paz, guilty plea, home detention 6 months. Richard Lackle, guilty plea, sentence $15,000, imprisonment 16 months. Cal McQuip, guilty plea, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, probation 5 years. You know what they have under Steve Ferguson's name? fugitive from justice. Because Ram Logan said in the letter I read out, I am not appealing. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, SC and MP, decided as Prime Minister she good with that. United States Embassy issue a press release saying that they are deeply concerned about the lack of extradition. U.S. Embassy statement on Ish and Steve, written by the Trinidad Guardian. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear tonight what the people themselves had to say. Because tonight I have what you didn't hear. I have the letters of apology to the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. These people have apologized to the state. And even though we have matters in court, that court matter in the United States Federal Court, done and finished, because them gone to jail, serve time, come out, pay money, and you never see 1 cent of it from the United National Congress, and them bold-faced enough to tell you, come back and vote for me. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, SC and MP. Listen to this one. I have 7 letters of apology. First one, January 18, 2007, written by Eduardo Hillman Waller. I'm going to read an excerpt. I, along with my company, Burke Hillman, selected tainted process to shepherd and safeguard the process of designing Piarco. I was to use my considerable experience and skill in this function and to do everything in my power to protect the investments of the people of Trinidad and Tobago who were making this important capital infrastructure. Instead, I must sadly and with deep regret admit and inform you that I did not do that. Along with others, I participated in perverting the bidding process to the benefit of, and he names Trinidadian companies. I am aware of the damage this has wrought to your country. I am very sorry for what I did. I knew it was wrong. Listen to this, because it applies to Mrs. Prasad Bisesa. I am 70 years old, and I will, in the twilight of my life, go to prison instead of spending it with my wife, children, and grandchildren. Moreover, I am selling assets to repay the people of Trinidad and Tobago by way of restitution. I have another one. This one written by Rene Diaz Villegas. I have another one written by Leonardo Arturo Mora Rodriguez. Another one written by Jose Amensaga. I have another one written by Suarez Company. Another one written by Mr. Burke. All of them apologizing to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago for the thieving that went down of the money at the Piarco airport. And you tell me, how on God's earth can we install Kamla Prasad Bisesa back into government to supervise your money? What is going to happen to the $1 billion judgment that we have collected for you? If they get back in office, what are they going to do with that? You don't think the same old will happen? Stretch it, pass another law, let them out, go to court, wait for man to dead, wait for woman to dead. Ladies and gentlemen, them so is the people coming to ask you for the vote. They have, listen, I have never run a negative campaign, and therefore I will be respectful to the very elderly gentleman who is running against me in San Fernando. I cannot disrespect octogenarians. I will just say respectfully that a man like that should watch them cocky eye, and he should follow suit from Dinesh Rambali's example, from the whole Adego Martin Northeast example, from Rushton Parry's example, from all of the UNC sensible people who say enough is enough, for heaven's sake, enough is enough. But I want to come quickly to a close, back to your fridge. You see, I am seeking a 3rd term. And I, as MP for San Fernando West, delivered 31 projects. And in 2020, I produced a flyer I said that I would do 11 things. In fact, I did 10 out of the 11. That is a 91% record. But I want to tell you what I did with $1.5 billion. Close to the 1.3 that them owing we. Lady Hales widening done. 67 million. Mbaka there, we repurposed that in the boots. 5 million. Carlton Lane housing done. 60 million. Waterfront reclamation done. 136 million. Plaza San Carlos being built, 61 million. San Fernando Fishing Port done, 38 million. San Fernando Family Court done, handed over March 18 for 14,000 people to stop going Port of Spain, done. Bayshore Housing done at 15.6 million. Hospital Car Park done at 140 million. Skinner Park done at 160 million. Wastewater Treatment Plant at 654 million, done. Fishing Port at 38 million, done. PTSD relocation, 15 million, done. Housing to go up at $207 million, done in terms of development and positions. But what does that mean for your fridge? It means that everybody who is looking for an HDC home of good value in San Fernando, we are building your houses. Go and see the open land. It means that when you're seeking jobs, that when you get a high-paying job in a marina, which is being built on the solid land we have at the waterfront now, solid land, it means you get US dollars. It means that employment is given. All of this delivered by infrastructure of the same amount as the judgment that Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, SC and MP, has denied us for all these years. Ladies and gentlemen, we need the money. We want the money. You have a choice to make. On April 28th, will you allow our progress to continue? Will you put scamps into office? Will you send somebody back who was Attorney General, Prime Minister? Watch them do appeal. Watch them pass Section 34. Watch them stretch time. Are you going to put her back? Well, you only have one choice. And when as I'm leaving the stage, play a video behind me, I want you to see some before and after images of what I, as MP, backed by my Prime Minister then, Dr. Rowley, backed by my cabinet, backed by the hard work of Stuart Young as Minister of Energy, and the work he did with me and Attorney General. Watch what $1 billion can do. And understand we have a vision because we're ready and responsible to deliver Trinidad and Tobago with policy. So I will end, as the video comes on, by telling you, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Rain, sun or shine, we shall prevail.
Big up Forest, big up St. Madeleine, big up Fern, big up Laramine, they don't know, big up the whole of San Fernando West. And it's that. Boom! PNM, touchdown, no other party no better than we. We is the champions from a long time, eat up the other party. Yeah, PNM, touchdown, no other party no better than we. We is the champions from a long time, eat up the other party like ping pong, yeah. PNM legend, we party, we bring it. Hospitals and the school and we build it.
vibes. He came with a presentation. That is what the PNM deals with. We deal with facts and figures. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for yourselves for staying with us in this ring. And we are now going to bless you with a performance. We welcome to the stage the 2025 National Freestyle Champion of Trinidad and Tobago. Some of you know him as Mr. Akeem Chance, but others know him as Pretty.
This is the time. I said this is the time. Ready, ready, show me ready, ready, show them be ready, ready. This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Oh yeah, come in as I feel the light, shining so bright in we heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, blood we pay. If you're ready, all I say. If you're ready, you tell me we ready already. The thing that's set already. Tell me all in, be all in, be all in. Tell me we ready already. The thing that's set already. Tell me all in, be all in, be all in. Boy, tell me all in, boy. Just tell me all in, boy. Tell me all in, tell me all in, tell me all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. I want to get my way forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire. If you know rain, that's only some cricket. All I say and say. So show that we ready already. The thing that's set already. Tell that we all in, be all in, be all in. Tell that we ready already. The thing that's set already. Tell that we all in, be all in, be all in. Boy, tell that we all in, boy. Just tell me all in, boy. Tell me all in, tell me all in, tell me all in. Our nation's so strong. If you know you're feeling the fire in your soul right now, if you know you're all in right now, stand strong together, put evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, it's love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? You don't know, tell them we ready already. The thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, be all in, be all in. Tell them we ready already. The thing that's set already. I want to sing this part with me. Sing this part with me. Whoa, tell me all in, whoa. Just tell me all in, whoa. Tell me all in, tell me all in, tell me all in. Tell me ready and ready. Thing that's set already. All yeah. All yeah, we done what already, you know. We done what already. Everybody say, all day I beat the road. All day I beat the road. When the streets in me, I beat the road. When the streets in me, I beat it. What to do? Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. See you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. Let me all that body red. Wet me up, 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 wet me up. Right now I'm over it. Wet me up, 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 wet me up. Right now I'm over it. If you're happy and you know it, raise your hand. If you're happy and you know it, raise your hand. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, raise your hand. Everybody say hi. Hands up, hi. All who are gonna fly. All who are ready, rain. I say, sing it. I say, all day I beat 10 road. All day I beat 10 road. When the street in me, I beat 10 road. Everybody clap up, clap the way. Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. See you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. Let me see you stick it good. See you stick it good. See you stick it good. Everybody start to sing, say, all day I beat 10 road. All tired? I say,
All day I beaten road. All day I beaten road. When the spirit hit me, I beaten. When the spirit hit me, I beaten.
This is the time. Ready, ready, show me who ready, ready, show me who ready, ready. This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming as I feel the light, shining so bright in the heart of my soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, cause it's blood in we veins. We all are the same. You don't know we ready already. Things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we ready already. The things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we inspire, so we must achieve all the red army.
PNM family, make some noise for Akeem Chance, otherwise known as Pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, he made it all the way down from Maloney in the rain to come to sing and perform for you all. You all say thank you, Pretty. I love it. I love it. So we all in the rain, we all in the sun, we all in any condition, because come April 28th, we are putting our X by the, Ladies and gentlemen, you have been a wonderful audience so far, and we have one more speaker for you. Are you ready for your next speaker? Are you ready? You ready? Yes, so we red and ready. Yes, make some noise. We red and ready. Our next speaker is a powerhouse in governance, national security, and energy policy. The next speaker has earned the trust and confidence of the nation through an unrelenting commitment to progress. Admitted to the Bar of Trinidad and Tobago in 1998 and elevated to senior counsel in 2024, he has tackled complex legal battles, led landmark legislative reforms, and championed justice at the highest levels. As Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, he has secured historic deals, including the renegotiation of natural gas contracts, restructuring the Atlantic LNG facility, and solidifying Trinidad and Tobago's economic strength for generations to come. On January 6, 2025, San Fernando, he became the youngest Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. San Fernando, he is a man of action, a negotiator. He is that adaptable and responsive, quick to learn, and most importantly, perform at the highest levels of regionally, locally, and internationally. This has prepared him to lead both our party and Trinidad and Tobago in this new chapter. PNM family, this is a new era. We are red and ready with a man who will bring responsible governance. I want you to raise your flags, make some noise. I present to you the returning MP for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and your next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC.
come from when RUNG used to carry it. We used to carry it when the RUNG used to carry it. We used to carry it when the RUNG used to carry it. We used to carry it when the RUNG used to carry it. We used to carry it when Arima had it, Maturita had it, Santa Rosa had it, Donyaruka had it, Mova had it, Sawa had it, Soparia had it, Lokalova. Downtown state was the vibes when West people live from Lincoln, John and Beaton to head to the playground and put the link inside. Arima and
San Fernando! Let me hear you!
Morning down the by West Morning.
San Fernando! Let me hear you! Thank you! Good night, good night, good night! To all of the PNM officers, to all of our candidates who are going up for April 28 elections, to my PNM family who are standing here despite the rain, to all who are listening and following from at home, welcome. Welcome to the PNM and welcome to San Fernando. Still here in our thousands despite the rain. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we need to have a serious and a sober conversation. Because you see, the future of Trinidad and Tobago depends on all of us. The future of Trinidad and Tobago depends on the choice that citizens will make on April 28th. So I have come here tonight as your humble servant to speak to the population of Trinidad and Tobago and to tell you why you have to make the right choice on April 28th and why it is important. Because you have to do a comparison. You have to do a comparison as we all do. You know what a PNM stable, sober, good government has done for the last 9.5 years. You have seen that without a doubt, even in the most difficult of times, including a pandemic, we were able to always, as the People's National Movement, put country first. And you young people in front, you are the ones who must lead us to the polls on April 28th and take with us all of our senior citizens and all of everyone to vote. Fellow citizens, do not be fooled. There is a serious campaign afoot by the UNC to fool the population with lies and misinformation and to try and lead this country astray. But we in the PNM have faith. We in the PNM believe that the people of Trinidad and Tobago know what is the right choice come April 28th. This government in the last 9.5 years has worked night and day, rain, sun, no sun. And we have worked for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have now established a solid, a stable foundation upon which we are ready to write a new chapter. Are you going to join us in writing a new chapter on this foundation? So let me give the population some examples of where the PNM government in the last 9.5 years has shown in difficult circumstances that we will always do what is right for country, and how that works out well for everyone, despite what you hear the UNC saying. And a question we have to ask is, where is the UNC getting all of this money from to pay people on the train line, to pay people in Bacadere, to pay people all over the country, including influencers, $40,000, $5,000 and more. Where is the UNC getting all of the money to run ads in the newspaper, ads on television, ads on the radio? And that is a serious question that citizens need to ask. So in the last 9.5 years, let me give you some examples of what this government that Dr. Rowley led, that I now lead with all of my capable, intelligence colleagues who have integrity, have done. Only a few examples because I have to get to something very important tonight. You all know about CLICO and CLF. In 2009, a PNM government took a decision to intervene in CLICO and CLF because it had the potential to destroy the financial system, which means it could have led to instability in Trinidad. So a PNM government went in 2009 under former Prime Minister Manning, and they went into CLF and CLICO and said, we will make it whole until it recovers. It didn't recover. In comes in the UNC in 2010 to 2015. They did nothing. We, the citizens, put in over $20 billion into CLICO and CLF. $20 billion, you know. That is almost half of the annual budget. The UNC did nothing to recover that money on your behalf. This PNM government came in 2015. Very shortly after we came in, the shareholders said, hey, we're not signing an agreement anymore. Tough. We want to negotiate. But we had $20 billion outstanding for you, the citizens. What did we do? In difficult circumstances, this PNM government took a decision to protect every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and to put them into liquidation. And I am happy to tell you all tonight that that decision taken by us, a PNM government, we have recovered on your behalf approximately $20 billion that the UNC refused to do anything about. How many of you all here have invested in the NIF? How many people out of the thousands have invested in something called the National Investment Fund? Now you see, it is important I take some time tonight to explain to the citizens and to you young people what was the policy behind the NIF. Because any government and any minister of finance could take a decision to sell stuff. So you need to pay money, you need to pay your loan, you need to pay your mortgage, you need to pay for your children to go to school. You could just sell something and pay that, but then it disappears. You don't have your house anymore. You don't have anything that you've sold anymore. We sat down, and these same young people in front of us, we said we need to protect the assets for the young people to inherit in the future. The Minister of Finance needs the money. But rather than just sell Angostura shares, sell Republic Bank shares, get the money for it to pay salaries, to pay for the hospitals, and to pay for gas, to pay for the lights, we said no. Let us find a way to protect Angostura shares, Republic Bank shares, and other shares for the future generation, and let us allow citizens to own those shares, to own those assets. And that is how we did the NIF. But you see, a UNC government, as you just heard from Faris, not interested in that. All they're interested in what they could put in their pocket. And that is another example of what your PNM government did in the last 9.5 years in difficult circumstances for the young children. So now, in the future, they will inherit billions of dollars that have paid billions of dollars in returns to the citizens over time. Another thing we did, and you must not underestimate this because I'm coming back to it in a little while, public servants. do not underestimate how difficult it was at times to make sure that every public servant was paid in the last 9.5 years. Not only the public servants, every CPEP worker, every URP worker, every worker in the reforestation program, every worker in the corporations that are daily paid workers, all the workers in the hospital, every single one was paid by this PNM government without cutting your jobs, even when we were in the middle of COVID. And that is what a PNM government does. A PNM government, a responsible government, made sure that all of your jobs you were paid for, making sure that you were able, with the limited money that we have, to go home when you get your salary and look after your family. And I'm going to tell you about the bag of promises that the UNC are trying to sell to you and how it is impossible. So in COVID, you remember what the UNC did? We are trying to protect lives. The UNC were in court once, twice, 3 times a week, suing the CMO, the chief medical officer, suing our doctors, suing our nurses, suing the government to try and capsize everything. Ask yourself, are those people who care about us? We are trying to protect lives, but your government was determined to ensure. We borrowed $17 billion in 2020 for COVID, $17 billion to make sure everyone was paid, to make sure that small businesses did not collapse, to make sure that even though public servants were not going to work, they were paid, to make sure that our doctors, our nurses, our policemen were paid. Give your PNM government a round of applause for that. Because you see, brothers and sisters, this is what a responsible government does. This is not a government that was putting its hands in NGC pocket and stealing $14 to $15 billion of cash. This was a government that was determined to make sure our children could go to school. I remember my colleague, the Minister of Education, how difficult it was for her to make sure that the schools were still teaching. We had to go out and compete with the rest of the world to get laptops, to get tablets, to make sure that the children who didn't have could get so they could go to school. And whilst that is happening, Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the bunch of them were trying to upset everything. It cost us almost $30 billion in court fighting, and we won every case on your behalf. But why would somebody who wants to lead Trinidad and Tobago put your lives at risk? The energy sector, you have heard how the energy sector pays for everything. I understand that it is difficult sometimes to appreciate what the energy sector means for us. So tonight, let me tell the population what that oil and gas does for each and every one of us in Trinidad and Tobago. It pays the bills. The oil and gas money pays the bills. It's money from the energy sector that pays for free education. It pays for the school feeding program. It pays for free healthcare. Just look behind you at the San Fernando Hospital, that any of us could go there and get free health care. You get medicine, or senior citizens and others, you get CDAP. Do you know how expensive those medicine, those drugs would be if it had to come out of your own pocket? But this PNM government made sure to fight harder for you, to make sure we got more money from the energy sector, even though production was going down. So meaning that we are producing less oil and less gas. And I will speak about what we did in the energy sector in a detail on another night. But what I want to tell you tonight is that money from the energy sector pays for the public servant salaries. It pays our CPEP workers. It pays our URP workers. It pays all of the workers who are employed by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. It pays for our electricity. It pays for our food cards. Our food cards that our vulnerable citizens depend on. It pays for the police, the nurses, the doctors, the prison service, the firemen. That is what the energy sector pays for. And when we were out there fighting for the last 9.5 years, it was on your behalf. It was on behalf of the country and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I was there with Dr. Rowley in 2018 when we took the hard decision to take on a fight with those people who are using our gas, the big oil and gas companies, and to tell them, we want more money for our gas. So when you're listening to the UNC and their promises, they did nothing to improve Trinidad and Tobago and what we get in the energy sector. But they want people to vote for them and are going to come to the bag of goodies because it is frightening. Trinidad and Tobago, when I tell you tonight, the work that I've done over the last few days, along with my colleagues, the Minister of Finance, the technocrats of the Ministry of Finance, and consulting with other independent economists, and I tell you what Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the UNC's plans are, their bag of lies are, what it is going to do to our country. You will be shocked, and on the 28th of April, you will make sure that everybody you know goes out after saying your prayers on the 28th of April to the polling station and votes for the PNM. They did not negotiate a single gas contract. So when they talk about PNM negatively affected the energy sector, lie. You did not negotiate a single gas contract to get gas for Trinidad and Tobago. The one contract you negotiated costing our children, costing our senior citizens billions of dollars in loss. That is the UNC style. That is how they govern Trinidad and Tobago. Unacceptable. Let us get quickly to Petrotrin. Because you see, we in San Fernando, we next to Claxton Bay, we next to Faizabad, we next to La Brea, we next to Oropuch. We are in the heart from San Fernando of people affected by Petrotrin and people affected by a hard decision. It wasn't easy. We spent months trying to find a way to stop the losses at Petrotrin. But we had to take the difficult decision, and that is what a government does. We never shut down Petrotrin. So when you hear the UNC still with their lies about how PNM shut down Petrotrin, I want each and every one of you to tell you that is a damn lie. This PNM government did not shut down Petrotrin. You go and check the facts. From 2010 to 2015, under the UNC, production of oil at Petrotrin was collapsing. They lost over 20,000 barrels of oil a day in that time. When they had Petrotrin, it was making profit. Yes, it had made profit, but by 2013, it had started with losses. By the time they left office, we were losing billions of dollars every year at Petrotrin. And we tried, but by the time we had to take that hard decision, but it wasn't a heartless PNM government. We sat as a cabinet, my colleagues and I sat as a cabinet with Dr. Rowley, and we decided we were going to find $2.7 billion in cash to make sure every worker at Petrotrin who was going home was paid money. And that is what a PNM government does. So we restructured it, and today I could report to you that Heritage is earning billions of dollars in revenue. No loss. It has earned billions of dollars in revenue and hundreds of millions in profit, billions paid in royalty to make sure our children could go to school, to make sure the hospital lights. Look behind you. The hospital lights are on and there are nurses and doctors there. Paria, not a day you couldn't go to a fuel pump across Trinidad and Tobago and put gas in your car. That is a responsible PNM government. So don't listen to the UNC lies. Tell them when they come to your house, including with Ansel Roger, who should know better. You lie, you damn lie. We have tried hard as a government to ensure that that refinery is reopened. Anybody who tells you that the government could reopen the refinery, they're going to bankrupt you and they're going to make sure that our children cannot go to school free in the future. They're going to make sure that the hospital has no drugs in the future. We went out. You all remember the first time we went out to try and open the refinery again? Who we gave the opportunity to? Who we gave the opportunity to? To Ansel Roger, not so? And we sat with them and we worked hard with Patriotic to find a way. But you see, the first thing you need for a refinery is you need oil. The refinery produces 150,000 barrels of oil into product. By then, they were only producing in Trinidad 59,000 barrels of oil, 60,000 barrels of oil. So you had to buy oil from outside. So unless you have a supply of oil, the math's not mathsing. But we tried. We gave them exclusivity. You know what that means? We gave Patriotic a time when we told them we will not talk to anybody else. We will work with you to reopen the refinery under Patriotic. But we cannot take the taxpayers' money and put it back into a loss making. In 2018, 2019, Petrotrin lost $16 billion. How you could reopen that with your money? So we gave them an opportunity. Unfortunately, it didn't work. They wanted the government to give the money and the government to back bonds they could sell, but that putting us in the same khaki pants. We didn't stop. Every time Dr. Rowley and myself went outside of Trinidad and Tobago, at every opportunity, we told people, we have a refinery in Trinidad. If you have crude oil, come to Trinidad and see the refinery. We went through another process. Unfortunately, that failed too, because the people at the last minute couldn't do it. We have just completed a third process. Trinidad and Tobago, people at San Fernando, people in Claxton Bay, people in La Brea, people in Point Fortin, people next to San Fernando and around San Fernando. I am asking you here tonight, as a responsible member of the PNM government, given the duty to work with my colleagues as we lead Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. We have found, not us, through inviting the world, it has now thrown up a Nigerian company called Oando. This Nigerian company, before I get to that, you all remember Jindal from India? You all remember Jindal from India? Mr. Jindal, that the UNC attacked, and that the UNC bad talk and attacked, is now the largest steel producer in the world. Go and search it. He is the most successful steel producer in the world. What did Kamla Prasad, Bisesa and them do? Anything for your interests? If they had the opportunity for Jindal to reopen the refinery, what they did? They attacked his reputation. And they have the audacity, they have the gall, they have the belly to talk about corruption. To talk about corruption. You seen the people that they're attracting to them now? You seen the people that they're pulling inside now? People who have all sorts of questions to answer? Is that who we want to put in government? So they run Mr. Jindal. Mr. Jindal's mother is the 4th richest woman in the world. The 4th richest woman in the world. He is now the most successful steel maker in the world. And they ran them. UNC ran them. Sandals was coming to Tobago. We would have had our sandals and our beaches there now that your PNM government worked for to bring them. Who ran them? They really care about Trinidad? No, they don't. So let me put you on notice tonight. If we want that refinery reopened, because let me tell you, you know what Orlando told us? You know who the workers for the refinery going to be? They are not bringing in any foreign workers. It is the same workers who used to run the refinery before. We have negotiated for them to use the same workers. So all of you all who want to follow Kamala and Roger and their stupidness, you will follow them over a cliff. But with a responsible PNM government, Orlando has said they will use the same workers and the same local people, meaning your community, meaning your brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, daughters, to start up the refinery and to run it. So do not let the UNC tell lies and destroy another opportunity for you here in San Fernando and in Claxton Bay and in all the constituencies to have that refinery open, because one of the sources of crude that could work in the refinery is Nigerian crude. The largest producer of Nigerian crude as a local Nigerian is Orlando. They have the crude. They have raised billions of US dollars themselves to get their operations going in Nigeria. So do not allow Kamala Persad Bissessar and people like David Lee, who have nothing to their name but $1 million in bail, tell Orlando and to tell you, the people, that you don't want that refinery reopened. People, tonight, my message to Trinidad and Tobago is, if UNC wins, you lose. Let me hear you. If UNC wins, you lose. Trinidad and Tobago will lose. Let me ask you all a question. You all heard Kamala's promises? You heard Kamala promising, I'll give Munila last night, I'll give 10%, as though they have money to give away. I will give you this, I will give you that. The bag of promises, you all have heard it? Well, a PNM government, a responsible PNM government, sits down and looks at what they promise the people. And I could stand there tonight as your Prime Minister, looking for you to return this PNM government, all of my colleagues there, on April 28th, for still to be the government, and to tell Trinidad and Tobago without a shadow of a doubt, having spoken to the Minister of Finance and independent economists, that it is all lies. That is not a bag of goodies, brothers and sisters. That is poison. Listen to me carefully. She is selling poison. It is going to destroy Trinidad and Tobago. I don't come here loosely tonight and tell Trinidad and Tobago that. I live here. I was born here. I grew up here. I fighting for Trinidad and Tobago hard for the last 9.5 years in government, and for many workers and people before that. So I stand here tonight telling you, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as a member of a responsible PNM government that has built a good platform for Trinidad and Tobago, what the UNC is offering and telling you they will do, slashing corporation tax, getting rid of property tax, giving 10% to 14% in back pay, it is going to destroy Trinidad and Tobago. And I am going to show you tonight how it will destroy it. Because I am not like them. I don't get up on a platform and lie. I don't get up on a platform and attack people who are defenseless. I don't get up on a platform and tell lies on people who are not in the political arena. That's their style. But I am warning the population tonight, do not let Kamala Persad Bissessar and the UNC destroy us. You see how many people from the UNC, sensible people who care about Trinidad and Tobago, are leaving? You see that on a daily basis? People, I want you to take careful note of who they are attracting. It seems to me that the people that the UNC are welcoming, the people who are getting seats to run for, are people that have trouble with the law and are people who have police looking for them. They didn't have a single PNM candidate out of 41 top-class citizens who the police looking for. Not one. So I say this tonight. People who are part of the problem could never be part of the solution. People who are part of the problem could never be part of the solution. So as a responsible PNM government, as a government that cares about you, it's easy for them to stand up in front of the mic and say, I care about you, I will give you this, I will give you that. You haven't heard one single plan as to how they are affording to give it to you. Not one plan have they said, this is how I will raise money to pay for this or to pay for that. Your government has proved over the last 9.5 years, we know how to manage the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. We know how to make sure that the people who are most vulnerable get that help. Remind yourself of COVID. They will tell you all sorts of things that the PNM don't care about. Not true. Because you see, you have to look after the people's bank account. You can't go and put your hand in the bank account the way they did. So let's get to the bag of lies and the poison. What we have done in the last 9.5 years, and I want to thank former Prime Minister Rowley, the Minister of Finance, former Minister of Finance, Colum Imbert, and all those who worked hard to ensure we stayed out of the IMF. I don't think many people remember what it is like to be under the IMF. Those of you who are older than some of us, remind the young people what happened when under the NAR, we were in the IMF. The first thing that happens when you go under the IMF is they get rid of workers. They fire public servants. They will cut all sorts of things. We have also fought hard, and I gave the country a commitment today, speaking to the chambers of commerce, and I am giving you a commitment tonight as the Prime Minister, that we are going to continue fighting hard to maintain the US dollar where it is at 6.8, 6.9 to 1. 6.8, 6.9 TT dollars to 1. And I'm going to tell you what their plan is. Because you see, when they say you're going to float something, it has a lot of devastating. It does affect us all over. So let me tell you how you run a country, because they missed this lesson. The first thing you have to do is you have money that you earn, so it's like you get your salary. Your salary is $1,000. If you spend $1,500, you're in trouble. But a government has the ability to borrow that extra $500. And what you call that is a deficit, because the government is making money and paying loans over time. Trinidad and Tobago has run deficit budgets, meaning we spend more than we earn since 2006. There have only been 2 years where we made more than we earn. So the UNC came in 2010. The annual budget in 2010 was $43 billion. In 2010, the country was spending $43 billion. By the time they left office, they had taken the budget up to $65 billion, but the revenue wasn't supporting it. So they were already borrowing and taking money. I told you about the $14 billion at NGC. Any cent they could find, and you didn't see anything good from it. Don't forget that. They increased expenditure by $21 to $22 billion a year. That is irresponsible. But PNM came in, we came in difficult times in 2015. We had to cut what we could cut. We had to reduce where we could reduce. But we made sure people still had jobs. It's not easy. I know the young people are looking for more employment. Minister Cummings has a ministry called the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service that we have put hundreds of millions in. Give him a round of applause for what he's achieved. Minister Beckles out of the Ministry of Planning and Development, being responsible, sitting down with the Minister of Finance, working out how much money could be spent on developing Trinidad. But let me get back to the point. By 2024, our last budget in 2024, our revenue was $47 billion. We spent 54.6. So we had a deficit of $7.6 billion, right? In 2025, our revenue was $54 billion. We had a total expenditure of $59.7 billion, meaning we had a deficit of $5.7 billion. So it means that you could not afford to give much more. What you have to do with that is make sure that people get their fair share. Now let's get to what they intend to do, right? Because if you're not increasing revenue, when you manage the energy sector, the one deal you negotiated cost us billions in losses. So you're not increasing, you're draining, you're costing us money. They could not negotiate a single better gas price. And don't listen to them, you had to wait for the contract to expire, you know. Because we came in 2018, energy on spotlight under Dr. Rowley, and we negotiated. I negotiated with the support of my colleagues, and what we negotiated earned, I could tell Trinidad and Tobago here tonight, from the time we negotiated in 2018 to date, we have earned $38 billion in additional revenue. $38 billion. That is a PNM government. So ask yourselves tonight, the United States President Trump put tariffs across the world on countries. Trinidad got 10%. Guyana got 38% tariff. Ask yourself, Trinidad and Tobago. Ask yourself, PNM. Who do you want? Who do you trust? Who do you want to give the responsibility to go and sit down and negotiate on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago? Who has done that for you for the last 9.5 years? And I could stand here tonight and tell you, as a result of what I did, as a result of what the PNM government did, we earned $38 billion we would not have. So let me tell you, what they are promising you is impossible to pay for. I want to touch first of all on the bag of lies, because it will end up bankrupting. Listen to me carefully tonight. It will bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago. I am going to show you tonight, brothers and sisters, I am going to show you and Trinidad and Tobago tonight how that bag of poison is going to bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago. And this is irrefutable evidence. I've already told you, and you know, they haven't come forward with one way to make more money. If they do what they say they're going to do, if the UNC, God forbid, get a tiptoe into office and do what they say they're going to do, it is going to have two immediate reactions. And any independent economist will tell you that. And I have the facts here from the Ministry of Finance, because we've spent the last few days working the numbers, calculating how much it will cost, calculating how much money we will lose if the UNC does what they say they're going to do. Two things going to happen. And remember, I told you this here tonight as your Prime Minister. The first is we're going straight to the IMF. We will end up straight by the IMF. This PNM government has avoided the IMF for 9.5 years. Yes, taking our own medicine. You heard Dr. Rowley tell us it's better we take our own bitter medicine than the IMF do it. We have not laid off a single public servant. The first thing the IMF does, ask Barbados. Ask Barbados. I was sitting with Prime Minister Motley last week Wednesday, up to Jamaica, down to Jamaica. The first thing the IMF made them do is get rid of public servants. Over 3,000 public servants, which is a lot in Barbados. The second thing that will happen if the UNC gets their way, and I'm telling you, if UNC wins, we all lose. If the UNC gets their way and they start with their bag of poison goodies, it is going to lead to a devaluation. They have to devalue the dollar. And I am going to explain to you tonight what that means to each and every one of us. That is the UNC plans. But first, let me start with the IMF, because it is important that citizens understand the effects of this and how it is going to hurt you. So whilst they tell you and they want to sell you sweets and they want to thief your head, this is what it really means. IMF is immediate loss of jobs. First thing they will say, get rid of CPEP, get rid of URP, get rid of reforestation, get rid of public servants. Second thing they will say, all the contract workers in the government, get rid of them. That is where the UNC wants to put you. Loss of contract positions. They then tell you, cut all subsidies. Let me tell you what subsidies are. You see the lights on? The government paying for that. You see how we could all go across in San Fernando Hospital now, get treatment, get medication, or senior citizens could get CDAP, all of that gone, because as the IMF will tell you, you can't afford that. You go to the gas pump to put diesel or to put fuel in your car, it will pay the real price. We still put in billions in subsidy. They say get rid of that. Water rates, electricity rates, even though we were under pressure to raise it, we resisted, because those are the things we do because we care about you. IMF cutting that, so all of a sudden, everything starts to cost more when you're losing your job. No more free health care. They're going to cut the grants. They're going to cut subsidies. No more free medicine. That is what the IMF means. Take it very seriously. So brothers and sisters, I have spent the last few days speaking to the Minister of Finance and to independent economists. For Kamala and the UNC to deliver what they are promising, it means a devaluation. And I am telling you here tonight, and I have evidence, that their plan is a devaluation of the dollar is coming. The IMF and the World Bank, if you go back and check their reports on Trinidad, have been saying you need to float the dollar. They've been saying to the PNM government, you cannot keep your dollar at 6.8, float it. For 10 years, this PNM government has fought tooth and nail to make sure this isn't done and to keep it at 6.80. So $6.80 TT for $1 US. The UNC's plan is to float the dollar. Brothers and sisters, I am not guessing. I am not making this up. I want to show the whole of Trinidad and Tobago something here tonight. I want you to look at who is speaking and listen very carefully to the leader of the opposition words in Parliament as she tells you, the population, what her plan is, and it is to devalue, to depreciate, and to destroy our dollar. Please show.
Commit to the following to help protect our external position.
Listen.
Work with the central bank to ensure a competitive exchange rate. The Minister of Finance will work with central bank to make sure that our exchange rate is competitive, eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate within a crawling band.
Stop. You heard Kamala Persad-Bissessar say they're going to eliminate it and float the dollar, and she called it dirty. That is their plan. And let me show you, I have a document here tonight. A document. The UNC's National Economic Transformation Master Plan for 2020 to 2025. The UNC's plan in black and white. And it says, listen to the words of the UNC. A new UNC government will commit to the following. Work with the central bank to ensure a competitive exchange rate. For those who don't understand what that means to devalue our dollar. She goes on to say the UNC plan for 2020 to 2025. The Ministry of Finance under the UNC will work with the central bank to ensure Trinidad and Tobago's exchange rate is competitive, eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate. You hear how the UNC is speaking about our dollar? They want to eliminate the dirty managed float. That means devaluation. So the Minister of Finance and the technocrats and the independent economists, hold on, because they will come tomorrow and tell you that document don't exist. Play the next video that shows, as of today's date, the document's still on their website. Show the people.
Eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate within it.
So you see, I stand here tonight without fear of contradiction and tell the population of Trinidad and Tobago that the UNC's bag of poison that they're promising people and trying to fool people with is going to lead us straight to the IMF. And you heard their leader in a document that they have still up as their plan that they're going to devalue the dollar. So I sat with the economists and I said, what is it going to devalue to? How can they afford this that they're promising? I stand here today and warn Trinidad and Tobago that if the UNC gets into power on April 28, 2025, no matter what they say, they are going to devalue our dollars 15 to 1. 15 to 1. And let me tell you what 15 to 1 means, because that is the UNC's plan. Right now, flour costs right now $18.49. When they devalue it 15 to 1, it is going to cost $40.85. So from $18 to $40 for flour. Rice, 2 kilograms of rice costing $29 now. When they devalue to 15 to 1, it is going to cost you $64. That is what the UNC is really going to do to you. Curry powder. Right now, curry powder, 85 grams, is $12. That is going to increase to $26.50. Everything is going to cost twice as much. Sardines cost us now $13.95. When the UNC devalues our dollar and gets rid of the dirty managed float, as she calls it, sardines will go up from $13.95 to $30.82. What you all going to tell Kamala? What are you all going to tell the UNC? Because they're sending us straight to 15 to 1 devaluation. Onion. A pound of onion costs us now $5.95. When the UNC devalues our dollar to 15 to 1, it is going to cost $13. So I am putting Trinidad and Tobago on notice tonight. Our flour, our rice, our potatoes, everything that is imported is going to more than double in price. And that is the UNC's plan, as you heard said right here and as is in their document. And add to that the IMF coming in, slashing subsidies, attacking our workers. So you listen to them. You take their basket. Take God out of your thoughts with all that they tell you. And what you have to do, Trinidad and Tobago, is who has told the truth. Who has always come to the population and told you what the truth is, no matter how hard it is. It is this PNM government. It is this PNM government. So I am asking you here today to support me and the other 40 candidates from the People's National Movement, all of whom are quality candidates. We have young ones. We have some of the older ones with the experience. You have, like myself, in between, others, Nyan Gatsby Dolly, who have served 10 years in government. And when they ask, well, young, you've been there for 10 years, what you doing differently? When you're in charge, you could take different decisions. But I am not running away from what we did in 10 years. I have told you tonight some examples of how responsible we've been, how we've built and stabilized Trinidad. But I have told you tonight what is going to happen now. Let me take you to the bag of goodies. In 2015, the back pay we inherited when we came in, as they were on their way out, they always try to give away what they don't have. So they gave back pay. In 2015, it cost you $7 billion we didn't have. We had to borrow $7 billion in back pay. Tonight, just last night, you heard the UNC, a frontline speaker, Munilal, say they're going to start negotiations at 10%. You all heard that? This government offered 4%. We took it to 5% because that's what we could afford. I am willing to look at it. As a new Prime Minister, I am willing to look at it and to see if there are ways we could help in other directions. But I know what we can afford and what we can't. Let me tell Trinidad and Tobago tonight what the UNC wouldn't tell you. If they increase by 10%, it is going to cost over $6 billion in back pay. I just told you we have a deficit budget where we are already $6 billion short. So add another 6, that's $12 billion short for back pay. And then you have to do that across the board. Every year, it will put on an additional $1 billion because you've increased by 10%. So you have to pay more every year. So it's going to cost an additional $1 billion. They say they will go up to 14. You all heard that? Let me tell you what the UNC will do to you, and that's why they're going to devalue the dollar. 14% in back pay is going to cost you, the taxpayers, $8.5 billion. $8.5 billion in back pay. And it's going to lead to an additional $1.5 billion to pay out every year. That is not responsible. No responsible government will do that to people. So do not buy their lies and their bag of poison. 15 to 1, don't forget that. 15 to 1. Your salary that is $3,000 will now be worth in real value $1,500. I go to the grocery, I still do my own groceries. This weekend I went to the grocery and I see how much more expensive it has become. So now let us take our $500 that now we get in $500 worth. Understand that same $500 because they can't give us more money. That same $500 could now only buy $200 worth of goods. So we could no longer buy the rice, buy the flour, buy the saltfish. No, you now have to choose. And that is where the UNC is sending us. They say they're going to reduce corporation tax. Every morning you open the papers, we're going to slash corporation tax. You look at the television, on the radio, we're going to slash corporation tax because we care about you. You all hear that? Let me tell you, slashing corporation tax by 5%, and who knows what the UNC will do, is going to cost us over $1 billion a year. So on the one hand, they want to increase your spending by billions, but they want to reduce the amount of money you earn by billions. They are going to bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago. And I stand here today as a concerned citizen who, just like you, has the right to vote. And on the 28th of April, I am asking every citizen who cares about Trinidad and Tobago to make the right choice. Are you going to let them bankrupt us? Are you going to let them take us to 15 to 1? Are we going to let them anywhere near the government? We must not do that. They talk about the removal of VAT on all food items. I checked. I asked the Minister of Trade today to send me all of the food items that are already VAT exempt. and every essential food item and more is already VAT exempt. But if you exempt everything, you know how much revenue is going to cost us? And this is what they say they're doing, $1.5 billion a year. So they are going to bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago because up to now, they cannot tell you how they're going to increase revenue. But they can tell you how they're going to spend. Let me tell you who will make money in a devaluation at 15-1. All their friends and financiers. Everybody who have millions in US dollars, they become richer. The rest of us become poorer. That is the UNC's plan. They say they're going to get rid of property tax. Again, that's a reduction in revenue. So Trinidad and Tobago, people of Trinidad and Tobago, I am telling you, that is how they will destroy Trinidad and Tobago. You put on notice now. In just under 4 weeks' time, you have a decision to make. A responsible government with a track record, a responsible government with people who can lead the country, people who have the experience, the younger ones coming in to get the experience to continue what we're doing, a negotiator who has sat down in the most difficult negotiations around the world, fearless of who is sitting opposite, fighting for Trinidad and Tobago, or someone who can't even wake up before 10 o'clock. You saw what happened when they woke up the other day and go on Princess Town to announce a candidate? You all saw that? That's not a doctored video. They have to doctor videos on us. They have to make up lies on us. Who do you want to lead Trinidad and Tobago? PNM, let me hear you. Who you want to lead Trinidad and Tobago? Well, me and 40 other candidates offer themselves to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to lead Trinidad and Tobago in a responsible manner. Do not let them destroy your money, your spending power, because if the UNC wins, we all lose. Trinidad and Tobago will be destroyed. The UNC is going to float the dollar. They're going to float the dollar at 15-1. Fellow citizens, the PNM is a responsible, stable government. We know it wasn't easy. We know it hasn't been easy. But we will not collapse Trinidad and Tobago. I have proved to you that whilst we do difficult things, we are looking to expand revenue. $38 billion additional that we would never have gotten. We will not lie to you and offer people 10 to 14% because we know it will bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago. We will not lie to you and tell you you could reduce corporation tax. We will certainly not lead Trinidad and Tobago to the IMF or 15-1. Now let me tell you, because we have also sat, we've heard your cries. We have heard how difficult it is in some quarters. So again, I sat with the Minister of Finance, asked him to look at certain things. I listened to my colleagues, because my colleagues are always coming with plans that they believe can help the citizens. Never come in for anything that could help themselves. All of my colleagues in cabinet, and even the ones who are not in cabinet, are constantly coming. I need this. Let us see if we could do that for the people. Tonight, after consulting with the Minister of Finance, and thinking very carefully what this PNM government can do under my leadership, I want to tell you what we intend to do. They're talking about pensions. They're still terrorizing our senior citizens about pensions. Well, I stand here tonight putting that conversation to rest. This PNM government, and I pledge to you, as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, leading a PNM government, we are not going to interfere with senior citizens' pensions. We're not touching it. I pledge to you as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, with my colleagues and a PNM government, we are not going to shift the goalposts. Do not let them terrorize you with that. I stand here in full public tonight and give that commitment as the Prime Minister. We are not touching the senior citizens' pensions. But let me tell you what we're going to do. Your pension is safe. We're not interfering with it. We're not moving the goalposts. You see, we respect senior citizens in the PNM. We respect that senior citizens have contributed to Trinidad and Tobago, and we care about our senior citizens. And I want to say here tonight, we appreciate our senior citizens. Let's give them a round of applause. And today, after very, very careful consideration, having the Minister of Finance run the numbers, consulting with him, giving it very careful consideration as a responsible PNM government, I am pleased to announce that all public service pensions, all retired public servants who receive a public service pension will now receive that tax-free. No more tax on public service pensions. I am a member of Parliament. I hail from Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West. Let me hear you all. And my cabinet colleagues and every member, elected member of Parliament for the last 9.5 years have talked about how we could help the most vulnerable. You all know about food cards? So right now, some of the most vulnerable in our society get food cards, but I've listened. For 9.5 years, I've listened. For 9.5 years, PNM MPs say, we have to try to find a way. So today, again, after careful consultation with the Minister of Finance, running the numbers not once, not twice, but 3 times, I am pleased to tell you that this PNM government elected on the 28th of April are going to double the number of food cards for Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to take the pain elsewhere, and we are going to immediately, when we're elected and we go to Parliament, we're going to get the money and we are going to double the number of food cards to help those less vulnerable in our society. I am a parent. I am a parent just like many of you. And I know one of the most difficult things for a parent is to make sure your children are fed and that they go to school. As an MP, I have it every single time with parents who want their children to go to school and to provide for them. So again, sitting with the Minister of Finance, we already have no VAT on school books. We already have no VAT on school fees for approved education facilities by the Ministry of Education. So we sat and we thought about it. How do we help parents reduce the cost of sending your children to school? And tonight, I could tell you that a PNM government elected on the 28th of April are going to, after careful consultation with the Minister of Finance, I am happy to tell you that this responsible PNM government is going to remove VAT on all school uniforms. So you see, brothers and sisters, those are all things a responsible PNM government that has been in power for 10 years, knowing the difficulties, knowing how we have to work to make sure that the dollar doesn't get devalued, so your groceries don't go up and your salary doesn't become less. Those are just some of the things we're going to do to make sure that some amongst us are given that assistance. So work with us. Continue to work with our PNM government to keep Trinidad and Tobago away from the IMF. We will continue to take our own medicine. but we're not going to the IMF under PNM government. We will continue to fight hard to maintain our dollar where it is against the US dollar. You will continue to have a leader who is prepared to sit down across the table from anyone in the world and to fight on your behalf, because I ain't afraid nobody. And we will tell them that we're ready, and we are responsible PNM government. So we're ready, and we are responsible in government. We will not allow Trinidad and Tobago to be destroyed by Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her pickup side. We will continue as a PNM government that is ready and responsible in government to build on our foundation. Join me, join my Forte colleagues as we write a new chapter, as we build Trinidad and Tobago. And join me as I say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. I love you all.
Friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, we gonna making better. PNM, side by side, together, we standing for our nation's future. This is the moment we all in together, not just one. My sister, my brother, Alize in your hand. PNM is the plan, red and ready, hold it steady. PNM, we up, put the rug up in the air. PNM on the road again. Every green and every race. Together now, no time to waste. From Frederick Street to Bucko Reef. The Alize is what we need. Tell them this to say it plain. The PNM we need again. We're taking it to the streets, wherever we meet. We talking with everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want you to volunteer, spreading the word all over the party. So no rain, together we remain. We're gonna make things better. Young and light, standing tall. So it's a new chapter. Together we standing, all tribes intertwined. You get the bread of the golden line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Alize, with your hand in the air. We all in London flowing through we vein. Rhythm on the road again. Every creed and every race. Together, no time to waste.
In San Fernando, in the beautiful city of San Fernando, and this is an opportunity for us, as our Prime Minister would have mentioned, to give our country and to give our government a round of applause. So we would have heard several dynamic speakers. They would have highlighted some of the issues, likewise some of the goodies and some of the takeaways as we leave here today. So one of the things that our Prime Minister would have indicated is that while we have no VAT on our school books, the People's National Movement would now remove all VAT from our school uniforms. So I want to take this opportunity here to thank each and every one of you, everyone that was viewing live on our social media platforms, all our participants, everyone that was here in the crowd. We were hearing our numbers in the city of San Fernando, and now unfortunately our meeting has come to an end. I want to encourage you all to stay tuned for more updates, stay tuned for more meetings, as we continue to be all in with the People's National Movement, as we continue to move from constituency, from cities to various boroughs, to bring the message of the People's National Movement to your homes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important time for Trinidad and Tobago. Please remember that this is we are about serious business. And the People's National Movement has highlighted that tonight. And we want to ensure that when you go in the polls on April the 28th, that you are well informed, you know what you have to do, and all right-thinking citizens make a conscious choice and ensure that you put the X by the ballot. Make sure that you are all in for the People's National Movement. Make sure that you are staying away from the IMF. Make sure that you are telling the UNC that we are not going to listen to your lies. We know what you are about. And show this country that we are all in for Trinidad and Tobago. We are patriotic and we are all in for Trinidad and Tobago. And with that, I say good night and great is the year.
Yanti, from the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We rolling, we building together, we'll make it better. Stand it all, young and all, of our nation's future. This is the moment we hold it together, not just the one, my sister, my brother. Body say in your hand, PNM is the plan. Hold it steady, young and ready. Cause we all in, put your hand up in the air. Together gonna run the win. Every win and every race. Together no time to wait. From Frederick Street to Boca River. The body says what we need. Tell them this is it, pain. The PNM we need again. Hey, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we will always be there. Hey, oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na. Hey, 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 hey. We all in, we all in, we all in, we all in now, we all in. San Fernando, somebody scream! Say we all in. Hey, 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 we all in. Hey, we all in. Sando, I want to hear you sing. Say, we all in. Say, we all in. Say, we all in. PNM in. I voted PNM. Calling the red army, calling out all of me. Friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low. Everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, and we'll make it better. PNM, side by side, together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just for one. My sister, my brother, bodies in your hand. PNM is the plan, ready, hold it steady. PNM's being born. Calling the red army, calling out all of we. Friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low. Everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, and we'll make it better. PNM, side by side, together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just for one. My sister, my brother, bodies in your hand. PNM is the plan, ready, hold it steady. PNM's being born. Hey, oh na na na, red and ready, here we all. Yeah. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the red army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah, we all. Oh na na na, red and ready, here we all. Calling all the